Well, it seems as the 77th day of the second Trump presidency wraps up, we've landed at a moment that frankly felt inevitable. At some point, it had to come. We have arrived at the Musk versus Trump moment. The world has been wondering how long the bromance could last between the two most volatile and publicly irrational men in the world, Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the only president in history who hired multiple White House chiefs of staff sequentially, only to end up calling each of them an idiot before and after he fired them. Donald Trump's first Secretary of State called Donald Trump an effing, was well documented by Bob Woodward and others, said that after Donald Trump left a meeting, and not long after that, Trump's first Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, was publicly being attacked by Donald Trump after Donald Trump fired him. The publicly much anticipated breakup of Donald Trump and Elon Musk seems to center on the question of when would Donald Trump turn on Elon Musk. That's what everyone was speculating about because Donald Trump has turned on virtually everyone who's worked for him in the White House. But Elon Musk is the richest person in the world. And there is no one Donald Trump wants to keep in his life more than the richest person in the world, which is why Donald Trump was willing to suffer the public humiliation of Elon Musk publicly taking over a discussion in the Oval Office about Elon Musk's governing policies that left the actual president of the United States having about the same amount to say as Elon Musk's 4-year-old son. We know Donald Trump doesn't ever want to turn against Elon Musk because he never wants to lose access to Elon Musk's money and the fear that that money creates, especially in the Republican Party. As long as Donald Trump has Elon Musk's at his side, he can threaten any member of any Republican member of Congress with an Elon Musk-financed campaign against that Republican in the next Republican primary election. And so it has always made more sense that when the break comes, it would be Elon Musk dumping Donald Trump. And now Elon Musk is indeed dumping on Donald Trump, calling Donald Trump's tariffs stupid. So far, Elon Musk is using surrogates to attack Donald Trump, while Elon Musk directly attacks Trump surrogates. Elon Musk showed no gratitude to Joe Biden, while Elon Musk's wealth skyrocketed every day of the Biden presidency. But he's already apparently distressed at losing more money under the Trump presidency than any other person in the world. Tonight, Elon Musk is the individual biggest dollar loser in the world as a result of Donald Trump's world war on economic sanity. And so Elon Musk began his attack on Donald Trump with an attack on Trump's surrogate Peter Navarro, the only economic advisor to a president to have served federal prison time, and who is the author of the deranged Trump-Navarro tariffs. Elon Musk tweeted this about Peter Navarro. A PhD in econ from Harvard is a bad thing, not a good thing. Imagine what that means for Donald Trump, who only has a college degree from the University of Pennsylvania, which surely Elon Musk values even less than a PhD from Harvard. Peter Navarro shot back at Elon Musk, calling him a car guy and who just wants, quote, cheap foreign parts, which apparently is some new form of insult in Trump world that claims to be in the business of helping America's car guys, America's auto workers, and car manufacturers. But because Donald Trump doesn't understand how his tariffs actually work, the stock market of every American car company is collapsing. Their stock is collapsing, including Elon Musk's car company stock, which collapsed even more today. After a morning of Trump-induced madness in the stock market today, a member of the board of directors of Tesla publicly attacked Donald Trump on Twitter. And you know that wouldn't happen without Elon Musk's approval, especially because that board member's name is Kimball Musk, Elon Musk's brother, and apparently Elon Musk's authorized surrogate at Tesla to publicly attack Donald Trump. Kim L. Musk tweeted, "Who would have thought that Trump was actually the most high-tax American president in generations? Through his tariff strategy, Trump has implemented a structural, permanent tax on the American consumer. A tax on consumption also means less consumption, which means less jobs, which in turn leads to less consumption and even less jobs. That cycle of less consumption and less jobs is what we call a recession, which is what Wall Street is now predicting, with Wall Street analysts calling it the coming Trump recession." This weekend, during a video conference with Italy's right-wing League Party, Elon Musk revealed just how dramatically and completely he disagrees with Donald Trump in private, where he apparently claims to urge Donald Trump to drop all tariffs between Europe and North America. I hope it is agreed that both Europe and the United States should move ideally, in my view, tariff situation, effectively creating a free trade zone between Europe and North America. That would be that's what I hope occurs. and also more freedom of people to move between Europe and North America. If they wish to work in Europe or wish to work in America, they should be allowed to do so, in my view. So that has certainly been my advice to the president. That has certainly been my advice to the president. All right, then. In other words, Elon Musk's advice to the president is your tariffs are completely wrong. Not that your tariffs are a little too high, but that the tariffs should be zero. That's what Elon Musk said. He's telling Donald Trump. That is by far the most dramatic difference in opinion anyone on the Trump team has with Donald Trump. Elon Musk wants zero tariffs, and Donald Trump wants tariffs of more than 100%. Is it Thursday? I mean, it feels like Thursday already, Aman, but it's only a couple of hours into Monday. So I want to do a little tariff math, and I know we got Megan Casella waiting as well. So if I'm doing this correctly, okay, and maybe I'm not, we do a 50% additional tariff, punitive tariff on China. So if I layer that onto some of the tariffs that are kicking in, and I know we already have 100% tariffs on electric cars that was put in place by the former President Biden, but on all goods, that I think takes us above a 100% tariff. I think that's correct. That was CNBC's never-before-frazzled Brian Sullivan, who did a heroic job of trying to keep up with one of the craziest days in Wall Street history today, including the false rumor that jolted the stock market this morning. Shortly after 10 a.m., CNBC's screen flashed what appeared to be good news for the market that was suddenly flying around social media. Donald Trump's economic advisor, Kevin Hassett, was reported on the screen to have said that Donald Trump was considering a 90-day pause in tariffs for all countries except China. And that pushed the stock market straight up like a rocket at 10:17 a.m. There's the green graph on your screen going straight up at 10:17 a.m. We are just seeing the same headline that you guys are reacting to right now on this 90-day pause in tariffs on all countries except China. We are still trying to confirm this ourselves with the White House. But obviously a major change here, guys, and really different rhetoric even just from a couple of hours ago from this White House. Navarro, of course, on CNBC saying that this is not a negotiation. And then again, Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, yesterday was asked point blank whether there would be any postponing because there was some talk of that over the weekend. And he said, absolutely not. It's sort of obvious. These have to go into effect while the president resets global trade. The president himself has been saying he won't strike any deals with China. And the EU were the two countries he's been most focused on, or the two trading partners, and saying that there was nothing that they could offer because he wanted to see the trade deficits reduced. So a big shift here. We will have to see if this is confirmed. And then CNBC's intrepid White House correspondent Iman Jabs sent the market crashing back down simply by doing his job as a reporter. When I asked officials here in the West Wing just a minute ago whether or not there was any consideration of a 90-day pause, they said they hadn't heard that. They don't know what that is. And they'll get back to me, basically. All right. Well, this extraordinary 10 minutes in the mark, well, let's call it about 20 minutes in the market on what may not be actual news, guys. Minutes later, the grim reality finally set in. And really, you calling the White House press secretary and debunking these headlines really sent the markets back down, but because it was not a real headline that turned the market up. Yeah, in this case, Brian, fake news was fake news. And there you had a demonstration of just how quickly this problem could be solved. All Wall Street needs to hear is that Donald Trump is going to stop doing what he's doing. Jeff, what do you make of the market action today? I know it's kind of a lame question on my part, but I'm not going to lie. I don't know what else to ask. Sully, it has been chaotic. When CNBC's always steady, Brian Sullivan is shaken to the point where he doesn't know what to ask. That's what chaos looks like on Wall Street, especially Wall Street TV. The always careful and precise Andrew Ross Sorsen began the day on CNBC wondering about the possibility of Trump administration officials, including obviously Donald Trump himself, engaging in insider trading with the knowledge of before it happened of just how bad the Trump tariffs were going to be given what the government's been doing and this administration's been doing. It would not shock me. And I hate to speculate if we were to find out that a whole bunch of people who work in Washington as our elected leaders, one way or the other, ultimately sold stocks last week. or potentially worse than that, shorted the market. Dan Ias, who has been a champion of Tesla stock for years, said on CNBC this morning that Elon Musk has personally delivered, quote, permanent brand destruction to Tesla, and that the Trump tariffs are the worst thing that could happen to the American tech industry, which is so dependent on imported components. The sad thing, as someone that's such a supporter of U.S. tech for decades, is that what this has essentially done is cut U.S. tech at the knees. It would be like in a baseball game, me coming dug out before the game, like, okay, you're not going to have a catcher. You're not going to have a shortstop and no left fielder. Good luck. You should have a great game, but 3 years from now, I'll get you a catcher or a shortstop. That's the problem. Dan Ias says that if iPhones have to be made in the United States, they will cost at least $3,000. And the Wall Street Journal tonight points out that the cost of all cars will increase, including cars that are built in the United States. The lowest priced cars will increase by $2,500 to $4,500, and higher priced cars like Chevrolet Suburbans and Cadillac Escalades will go up $10,000 to $12,000. The Wall Street Journal reports used car prices will also climb as demand increases among consumers who don't want to pay higher prices for new cars. The Journal points out that Donald Trump's tariffs on steel and aluminum will make the production of cars in the United States more expensive and increase prices of American-made cars, but that new car dealers like General Motors and Ford have more than one way of passing on the tariff increases. Instead of building in tariff increases into the listed price of the car, for example, they might simply increase the interest rates on car loans that those companies offer to cover the tariff price increases in a more disguised way. This weekend, in a social media post, Donald Trump said, "This is an economic revolution and we will win. Hang tough. It won't be easy." Remember all those times on the campaign trail when Donald Trump talked about how easy it would be to impose tariffs that other countries would have to pay. He was lying every time he said that. And now that most Americans, including most Trump supporters, finally understand that they will be paying Donald Trump's tariffs. Only now does Donald Trump tell Americans it won't be easy. Elon Musk knows it won't be easy. How much more pain can Elon Musk take? How many more billions is Elon Musk willing to lose before he does something more than just telling Donald Trump privately that zero tariffs are the way to go? How much longer can Donald Trump resist the advice of the richest person in the world to stop trying to destroy the world economically? CNBC repeatedly said today that Peter Navarro won, meaning that if there were any arguments inside the Trump administration about how wild and crazy the tariff should be, Peter Navarro won those arguments. But if Elon Musk publicly dumps Donald Trump, or if Donald Trump publicly dumps Elon Musk, then who wins? Today, Elon Musk tweeted a video of the late conservative economist Milton Friedman in praise of zero tariffs. There's not a single person in the world who could make this pencil. Remarkable statement. Not at all. The wood from which it's made, for all I know, comes from a tree that was cut down in the state of Washington. To cut down that tree, it took a saw. To make the saw, it took steel. To make the steel, it took iron ore. This black center, we call it lead, but it's really graphite, compressed graphite. I'm not sure where it comes from, but I think it comes from some mines in South America. This red top up here, the eraser, bit of rubber, probably comes from Malaya, where the rubber tree isn't even native. It was imported from South America by some businessmen with the help of the British government. This brass ferro, I haven't the slightest idea where it came from, or the yellow paint, or the paint that made the black lines, or the glue that holds it together. Literally thousands of people cooperated to make this pencil. People who don't speak the same language, who practice different religions, who might hate one another if they ever met. When you go down to the store and buy this pencil, you are in effect trading a few minutes of your time for a few seconds of the time of all those thousands of people. What brought them together and induced them to cooperate to make this pencil? There was no commissar sending out offices from sending out orders from some central office. This was all thanks to the magic of the price system, that impersonal operation of prices that brought them all together and got them to cooperate to make this pencil just so you could have it for a trifling sum. And that is precisely why the operation of the free market is so essential, not merely to promote productive efficiency, but even more to foster harmony and peace among the peoples of the